Hello, are you preparing to sit for economics in your forthcoming JAMB UTME exams? Then the review of these 10 possible questions you'll see in your exams will be very beneficial for you. We'll also review other questions as your exams draw closer. NewTrack is prepared to present to you questions on most of the subjects you'll be taking in your JAMB UTME exam. So let's start with 10 possible questions you might see in your exams. The first question we're going to analyze is, which of the following is a factor of production? Of course, if you're an economics student, you should look at these four options and you should be able to select the first out of these four options. Remember that uh, factors of productions are fundamental resources that are used to produce goods and services, and hence the factors of productions are land, labor, capital, and entrepreneur. Of course, we don't have savings, savings is off it. We don't have profit, profit is off it. We don't have export, export is off the hook. Then the factor of production we have in the option is capital. Remember I said the factors of production are land, labor, capital, and entrepreneur. So the best option is option A. Now let's look at question 2. In question 2, the question says, what is the basic economics problem? What is the basic economic problem? 1. A. Is it inflation? B. Is it unemployment? C. Is it scarcity? D. Is it balance of payment? Now remember, the demand for any goods or service is always greater than the supply. So the big problem of any economics is when there is scarcity. And why do we say it is when there is scarcity? It is when there is scarcity because scarcity limits consumers' choices. So when scarcity resists or limits consumers' choices, consumers are restricted to the demand of a certain goods, and hence the demand might be greater than the supply, and hence scarcity is a very serious or a basic economic problems that we can face. Inflation, which is a rate at which prices of goods and services increases over time, is not a big problem. Unemployment is when someone is unable, or someone who is able and willing to work cannot find a job that suits them. Is not a problem of it's not a basic economics problem. Balance of payment is not a basic economics problem. The main option is option C. So when you are given questions like this, you analyze such questions and then you can get your answers. Now let's look at question number 3. Question number 3 says, demand is said to be elastic. Demand is said to be elastic when A, the percentage change in quantity demanded is greater than the percentage change in price. B, the percentage change in price is equal to the percentage change in quantity demanded. C, the percentage change in quantity demanded is less than the percentage change in price. Demand does not respond to any changes in price. So which is the best option? Now remember that elasticity of demand is a measure of how much demand changes when the price of a product or services changes, right? So if that does happens, then elasticity of demand tells us how responsive consumers are to price changes. So for elastic demand, the demand must be greater than the change in price. And for inelastic demand, the change in demand must be less than the change in price. And for unitarily elasticity, the change in demand is equal to the change in price. So if it is an elastic demand, then the percentage change in quantity demanded should be greater than the percentage change in price. So the right option is option A. Now let's look at question number 4. In question number 4 says in economics, utility means what? Is it profit derived from consumption? Is it satisfaction derived from consumption? Or is it the usefulness of goods and services or the value of money? Now, what is utility? Utility is the satisfaction derived from the consumption of a given product or services. Remember, utility is a measure of how much satisfaction someone gets from a product or services. I want you to make more research on the type of utility. You might be able to see such in your exam. So make sure you know the different types of utility and the definition of each of these types. So the best option or the correct option is satisfaction derived from the consumption of either a goods or what? Or services. That is option B. Now let's look at question number 5. In question number 5, which of the following is an example of a macroeconomics concept? Which of the following is a good example of a macroeconomic concept? Is it consumer behavior, national income, individual demand, or price determination? Which do you think is the best option? Now let's analyze this. Consumer behavior has to do with the consumer's behavior towards a certain goods or service. The microeconomic concept, let's look at microeconomic concept. It focuses on the overall performance of an economy, and it looked at aggregate data rather than the individual market behavior. Now, consumer behavior look at individual market behavior. Individual demand look at individual market behavior. Price determination look at individual market behavior. So what are some of those behaviors or some of those behavior that is more like an aggregate data that is a market behavior? One of them is inflation, 2 is unemployment, 3 unemployment rate, 3 is gross domestic product. All these are market behaviors. We have the national income, the fiscal policy, the exchange rate, and so on and so forth. Also is the interest rate. All these are market behavior because any changes in any of these things affect the market. So the best option is national what? The national income is a very good example of a microeconomics. Now, microeconomics is just simply demand, supply, demand, income level, consumer behavior, etc. All these are microeconomic concepts. So the correct option is national income. Now let's look at question number 6. A market structure with only one seller is called what? This is a popular question that every economics student shouldn't miss. Is it monopoly? Is it oligopoly? Is it perfect competition or monopolistic competition? Now, monopoly is one person selling a product or services without close competition. Oligopoly is a market where a few companies control most of the sales or market. So perfect competition is a structure where we have a lot of people selling and there is competition. Monopolistic competition is not the best option. So the best option is option A, where you have one person selling a product or service without any close competition. Is a market of only a one seller, monopoly. Question number 7. Question number 7 says the law of diminishing returns operates in which type of production? Is it a short run production? Is it a long run production? Is it a primary production, a tertiary production? The best option when we talk of the best option is short run production. Now, the law of diminishing return, the law of diminishing return will always keep increasing. It always happen when one factor of production keeps increasing while the other factors remains constant. Now, it will remain constant until it get to a point which additional increase will only result in a progressive decline in output. Now, that point we call the law of diminishing return. So, in which type of production does this happen? This happen in short run production, because in short run production some inputs are fixed while the others vary. So while some inputs are fixed while the other varies, then that is a short run production. So it is a concept in economics that help businesses understand how to maximize their output. So short run production is a kind of production that operates with the law of diminishing what? Returns. Now let's look at question number 8. Question number 8 says the central bank controls the supply of money through what? Is it through fiscal policy, monetary policy, taxation policy, or trade policy? Monetary policy is more of the action by central bank to control money supply in a given country, prices, and the cost of credit. That is monetary policy. Now, the fiscal policy, the goal of their monetary policy is to achieve price stability, increase employment, and stimulate economic growth in the country. How about the fiscal policy? Fiscal policy is the use of some government spending or taxation to influence the economy, to stimulate the economy. So this will help to promote economic growth and reduce what? Poverty. Now the question says the central bank controls the supply of money through what? Through what policy? Money supply is through monetary what? Policy. So monetary policy is used to control money supply, prices, and the cost of what? Cost of credit. The correct option is option B, monetary policy. Now question number 9 says an economy where both private and government institutions coexist is called a command economy, a mixed economy, a market economy, and a subsistence economy. Which is the best option? The best option is a mixed economy. A mixed economy involves less government interference and it also incorporates the principle of free market. We have government interference, but not as such. So private companies runs hand in hand with government institutions. They coexist in such a market, but government involvement or interference is less. Now, when we look at the command economy, that is where government or other centralized group determines are high, their interference is high, they determine the set prices, they determine wages, they set prices, and they also control the product which is to the common group. So they also oversee the type of industries that operate within such an economy, and that is the command economy. So in this concept, what we are talking about is the mixed what? The mixed economy, an economy where both private and government institutions coexist. So the correct option is B. Finally, let's look at the last question, question number 10. The opportunity cost of a choice is the time taken to take the choice, the best alternative foregone, the money value of the choice, and the effort used in making the choice. Which option is the best? The option is the best alternative foregone. The first best alternative foregone. Opportunity cost, as we know, opportunity cost is the value of the next best alternative that you want to give up when making a decision. So the opportunity cost of any choice is the best alternative foregone, the best alternative you want to give up when making a decision, and is essentially representing the potential benefit missed by choosing that one option over another when you are given limited resources. So the best option is option B, which is the best alternative foregone. These are 10 questions that comes from the economic questions you might most likely see in your JAMB UTME exams. As time goes on before your exams, we'll also be analyzing questions like this that can help you prepare for your exams. You might possibly see these questions in your exams, and the best thing for you to do is just to tick the right option and move ahead. And that's why it's essential why you should join us as we review most of these your questions.